Yo, what's happening, everybody? It's Maurice back again with another video. I know it's been a minute, but here we are talking about Storm. This one was announced a few days ago. Um, I was expecting this one, so it wasn't much of a shock with her coming in. And, I think that they did a phenomenal job with the art that they chose for this character. It's very vibrant and beautiful. And I think that her playstyle is very interesting. I see her as maybe not a main um, a main hero that a lot of people will use. I think she'll be a very good support hero, but it's not that you can't swing it for her to be able to take on villains by herself. But I don't see. I think she'll be more fitting as a multiplayer hero than a solo hero. But I digress. I'm going to go ahead and jump into her cards. Let me go ahead and pull it up real quick. All right. So this is her alter ego, Aurora Monroe. So she begins the game with the weather deck. So it'll be to the side, similar to Doctor Strange's deck, or his invocation deck, where she has, I think it's four different weather cards. Um, and right from the get go, you can just go ahead and put a weather card in play of your choosing, right when the game starts. So you can go ahead and set the pace right from the jump. And here is her. Oh, to go back, six hand size, 10 hit points, three recovery. That's pretty straightforward. It's plenty of what we've seen already. And then on her hero form, one thwart, two attack, one defense. Weather control for her action, swap your weather support in play with the support of your choice from the weather deck. Resolve the special ability on your weather support in play. So similar to what we've seen with Nebula and Black Panther, with their special, there's certain requirements for it to be set off. So with her, with those specials, more times than not is either from this or one of her other cards that we'll get to be able to set them off. So she's in control of the different weather that she have, which is very thematic to the character, which I greatly appreciate in terms of having these heroes be extremely thematic. I think they've been doing a really good job with the X-Men thus far with keeping them extremely thematic and them having varying play styles. There's not any of the X-Men that feel like each other so far, which I think is pretty good. With this one being what, the fifth one, two, the sixth one, excuse me. This is the sixth one that we've had announced. So, um, yeah, none of them feel like any of the others, and I think that that's impressive, especially with how long this game has been out. They're still having fresh takes on these different heroes. So here's go one of the weather cards. So we have clear skies. This is permanent. Each character gains stalwart. Draw a card for the special. So this is for everybody that's that's on the field. Nobody can be stunned or confused. Which, you know, to each his own on that. That'll be and maybe you're dealing with the villain that is you know it's like Kang with his attachment that can stun you. There's other Ebony Maw who has all of those different spells that can stun and confuse, so those won't be as crippling to you. And I think that this card is going to be amazing with what we've seen from Magneto so far, because he seems to have a lot of cards that are kind of debuffs or tend to mess with you, at least from what I've seen with the announcement so far. So I think Storm will be a very keen pick going into Magneto, that she'll be able to affect the field in a way to where he can't, debuff you too much to where you're losing turns or actions trying to get rid of whatever nonsense he got going on. The next one is Hurricane. Each character gains Retaliate 1. Special, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So, this is a way, and this one is kind of thematic. You're fighting and stuff is hitting you. So I think that that's a pretty cool way of having that level of environment that's happening where stuff is flying all over the place. So people are attacking each other, but are also getting hit by stuff, and remove two threat from a scheme, which, you know, if you're using an action to bring this in and automatically removing two threat, that's kind of nice. Thunderstorm. So each character gets +1 attack, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So once again, this is everybody: minions, villains, allies. You know, this could be a card that you're probably ending the game with. You're pulling this out. You're trying to get a lot of damage out onto the villain. This could be a nice way to set up a nice way to end the game. So I'm already thinking like Avengers Assemble, Blaze of Glory kind of play. If she's going first, she can, or with her deal being in action, you can call for an action. If you're playing multiplayer and you have a Storm player there, she can just bring this out and you can set up your wombo combo. And this can, you know, depending on the amount of activations you have, the amount of allies that's in play, you know, just her calling in that action and dealing 2 damage, you know, to the enemy, and then allowing you to be able to play your turn. You know, that could be a nice setup to end the game. And then we have Blizzard. Each character gets -1 attack. Then a special: choose a non-elite minion until the end of the round. Treat the minion's text box as if it were blank. So this would be nice, you know, against those pesky minions that's you know that Zola has. I think that this is especially with how creative a lot of these modular sets are starting to get, especially the ones that came with the hood. You know, like the no, I don't think the Inheritors came with the hood, but he has a lot of minions that came with him. And regardless of who the Inheritors came with, I think that this is a good card for that. Especially if Solus or whatever his name is out. That dude is a straight menace. So that's not bad. And this is a good way to slow down those villains that that hits heavy. This is one way that you can kind of slow them down so that they're not dealing too much damage and allow you the time to still stand up, not get any threat removed from the or gets threat put onto a scheme, so that you can stand up in hero mode. She's got some interesting combos that can happen. So we have Weather Goddess. Swap your weather support in play with the support of your choice. Remove the special ability on your resolve the special ability on your weather support in play. So once again, you have an action to do this if you're in hero form, and then you got another option to be able to swap, so you can just change weather on a moment's notice and reap the benefits of those specials. So you can swap into one and then come back to your original if that was the plan originally, just to kind of get some extra advantages going your way, whether if it's dealing damage, drawing a card, dealing damage, removing threat. You got quite a bit of variability that's going on here, so I think that that's super cool. So we have Storm's Crown. So she gets +1 thwart. So we know that she starts the game with 1/2/1, which is pretty weak, but she have the opportunity to be a 2/2/1, which we have a few heroes that's like that, but it gives her the opportunity to be able to have more effective activations. And then she also has Exhaust Storm's Crown, generate the printed resource on your weather support. So this is a nice way to have some additional resource generation. And then depending on the aspect that you're running, this will give you the opportunity to be able to generate that resource if it's the one that fits the aspect that you have, because we know that protection loves those energy resources. We know aggression loves both mental and physical resources, and then we have justice that love the mental resources. And then it don't matter with leadership. It just comes down to whatever you're trying to get done. So this is a pretty cool card, especially going into whatever aspect that you choose. It's similar to Spectrum, where she has those energy duplications to be able to get whatever the resource off the form that she's in. So this is a nice little callback to Spectrum. And we have Storm's Cape. She gets +1 defense. So paired with the crown, she'll now be a 2/2/2. And she has Aerial. Hero response: after you resolve the special ability on your weather support, Exhaust Storm's cape, and then Ready Storm. So this allows her multiple activations. So if she's built up, she has the opportunity um, to be able to activate multiple times. And this will be, and this I like that this is catered to her defense, and with it being a 3 cost, if you choose to run her in protection and have a lot of upgrades, this gives her the opportunity to ready more often than not, so that you don't have to depend too much on the Indomitable card, where whenever you defend against an attack, you can ready up. So this will be an easier one to get onto the table if you're playing protection, because the good thing about protection is it has a lot of low cost cards. So this one fits right in. So that's good design choice. I like it. Torrential Rain. So super power thwart. 2 cost event. Let's see. Remove 3 from among schemes in play. If Hurricane is in play, resolve a special ability. So this is a 2 for 3 amongst different schemes, which is fine. Like, it's not anything too crazy, but to go back to Hurricane, you had opportunity to remove 2 more threat, right? So that's a 2 for 5. You get to, with the original 3, you get to take off wherever and then remove 2 from something else. So that's actually a pretty good combo for her. That's not bad. That's better than than I was thinking originally. Then she got a 1 cost defense. Speaking of defense, having those 1 costs, there you go. When the villain attacks you, the villain and each minion engage with you gets -3 attack while attacking you this phase. If Blizzard is in play, resolve his special ability. This is super nice with the minions in play, because this is a lot for 1 cost. Because there's not, I don't know that there's a minion that has more than 3 attack that I can think of off the top of my head. And this is assuming that they don't have an attachment to them or villainous, right? So even if they are villainous, at this point, you're more than likely dealing with whatever boost cards that you're getting, because most villains, even in stage 3, aren't hitting you for 4 right there. More than likely 3. So this card gains a lot of value regardless of what difficulty you're playing on. So yeah, you get a lot with this. This is a pretty good card. And if Blizzard is in play, resolve his special ability. So with Blizzard, you get there you go. So there may be a minion that has something atrocious. So maybe they're like the Sinister Six, where every time they attack you, something terrible happens. So this gives you the opportunity to not have to deal with that. Thank the Lord. So we got a 3 cost event, Blast of Wind, superpower. Hero action, choose a player, deal 3 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player. Resolve the special ability of your weather support. So you get the opportunity to just get that weather support off, but also 3 to each minion, and to each minion engage with a player, and 3 to the villain, depending on the villain that you're playing against and the minions on the table. The 3 is fine, especially since you get to get that special ability, so it's 3 damage and an ability to do something. So you could be doing 5 damage total, where it's 3 damage to everybody engage with someone in a villain, and then another 2 damage somewhere, or remove 2 threat, draw a card, or something like that. So this is a card that scales with the amount of minions that's out there. So like, at worst, it's an okay card. It's something where if you just need to get some damage somewhere, you can use it. At best, you're going to get a lot of value out of it, depending on the amount of minions that's out there. So we got, to me, my XMen. Play only if your identity has the XMen trait. Hero action, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an XMen ally and put it into play. If that ally is still in play at the end of the phase, add it to your hand. I'm excited for this card because I think, for one, that this works extremely well with Cyclops. I think that more times than not, you're probably going to run them in leadership, but this card combos extremely well with Beast from what we've seen so far, to where you can play this. You play this card here, you get Beast out, assuming that he's in your hand, right? And Beast ability allows you to be able to search your discard pile or deck for a resource card. So you it's a one cost to get beast out and get some resources, which you can look for a double resource and to be able to play a higher cost card in your hand. And then whenever the turn is over, after you draw up to your hand, you can get beast back and then play them again next turn and get another double resource, right? So this is an opportunity to this is going to be exciting to see what the community be able to combo this card with, and especially with Cyclops having that ability to reach out to all of the aspects to get X-Men cards in his hand. Is man, he's gonna have a field day with this. But I think that this card also works with Storm because she affects so much on the field whenever she's in play. So I think leadership is a smart aspect to start her off in, and then as people begin to experiment and theory craft with her to come up with some crazy decks, I think that leadership is probably one that she's going to fall into, which is thematic because she is one of the leaders of X Men. So next we got Mirage, Psionic X Men, 3 costs, 2 thwart, 1 attack with 1 consequential, 2 HP. So after Mirage enters play, choose an enemy whose scheme is less than Mirage's thwart, stun that enemy. So the first time I saw this card, the first person that came to mind was Star Lord. So whenever he runs leadership, if you have leader of the Guardians out, where if she were to come in, she'd immediately be at 3 thwart. Not all villains are starting at 2 or 3 thwart, so I think that this will be an easy way. And with her being 3 costs, that's an easy way to get her out too. With his ability, that's gonna be crazy. But I think that she's decent. You can at least stun a minion, if anything, because most minions don't have 2 thwart. But paired with um, Star Lord for sure, this allows her to come out and be at a 3 thwart and get some stuns off pretty quickly. So she's solid, especially having that 2 thwart. That's pretty nice with if you're playing solo or multiplayer. You have that option to kind of control the threat with her. So I like it. I like it. Pixie, I like the art on this. 2 cost ally, 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 consequential on that attack, 1 for thwart, 2 HP. Aerial X-Men. Okay. So after you play Pixie from your hand, add an X-Men ally from the discard pile to your hand. Once again, my man Cyclops, my man Cyclops is just gonna be on a. This dude is gonna be a monster in leadership. And this works out pretty well for Storm. She's gonna have the opportunity to get a lot of X-Men out in front of her, and with her different weather, she can add damage to them. Well, increase their attack. Let me say, not add damage to them. Increase their attack, so that you can at least get a lot out of her coming in. Getting an X-Men ally into your hand and then hitting somebody for 3. That'll work out pretty well. I think that she's going to be a popular X-Men to have in a leadership deck, especially in Cyclops deck. That's going to be crazy. So we got a 1 cost upgrade leadership skill. It comes in with 3 counters, max 1 per player. When an ally makes a basic attack, makes a basic thwart or basic attack action, remove 1 counter from here. That ally gets +1 thwart and attack for that action. That just adds on to what we've seen already from the different allies, and I think that, man, it would have been nice to see this earlier in the game, but that's neither here nor there. It's here now, and I think that, yeah, this is going to be an extremely popular card because of the amount of, man, people are going to abuse this card, man, because I can already see it with the get readies. Whenever you're Voltroning a minion, especially like Yondu, Ronin. I think that this allows them to be able to just go rampant even more than what they already are. Iron Man, this is such an amazing card. So hopefully she comes with like multiple of these, 2 or 3 of them in her deck. That'd be nice. Uncanny X-Men, 3 cost support. So play under any player's control. One team card per player. Each of your allies, X-Men allies, get +1 hit point. It's nice. If each of your characters have the X-Men trait, each of your X-Men allies cost one fewer resource to play. This is going to be ran in every X-Men leadership deck. Similar to team training, similar to Mighty Avengers. I think that I'm loving these team cards, man. This is one of my favorite styles of cards that they have come out with since this game has been out. I think that this is just is keeping pace with the other team cards. So this one is going to be a super popular one as well. So we got Forge. He's a 2-cost ally. XForce. One thwart, one attack. Response after Forge enters play. Search your deck and discard power for an X-Men or X-Force. Support and add it to your hand. Shuffle. Oh, this makes me happy. So this may be the first X-Force card that we've seen. So what you telling me is there's a chance. So, oh man, this I forgot what I even read. Hold up. After 4 play, search your deck and discard pile for an X-Men or X-Force support and answer. Yeah. So this is going to be awesome because this dude, for one, there's a ton of X-Men cards in this game. I think he's going to be a sure addition into Cyclops deck. But I think that, or any leadership deck, right? But that's revolving around X-Men. But seeing X-Force, like, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. This makes me happy because, I mean, this could be the start of what the next cycle is, right? Because if you have X-Men here, you can have X-Force heroes that technically are X-Men as well. So, we could see Cable, we could see Bishop, we could see Domino, Deadpool. There's a lot of people at play here that we could see. Oh my goodness, man, that might be another video, right? But this is awesome to see. Forge, I mean, he's fine. It's nothing. It's nothing crazy. He's going to be like he's similar to what's her name, um, Ironheart. Instead of you drawing a card, you're getting a support and adding it to your hand from your deck or discard pile. So he's a nice way to help build some tempo, to where you're getting the cards that you need pretty early, assuming that you draw him early, right? Or if you had to discard something, or you're few turns into the game and you're still not seeing what you need, he's a quick way to get what you need. So I like the idea of him. His card is very thematic. I like it. Man, I still got X-Force in my mind. This one is the XJet. It's a 3-cost support. Vehicle X-Men resource exhaust the XJet. Generate a wild resource for a player whose identity has the X-Men trait. So this is essentially Quinn Carrier, which is kind of nice. But it's more of a team based one, right? Because Quinn Carrier is a greedy version where it's only for you, where in this one allows you to be able to provide that to anybody who has the X-Men trait. So that's kind of nice. I like that. I like that a lot. You got Shadow King. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. It's an elite psionic. While a control minion is in play, the Shadow King cannot take damage. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of the possessed attachment and reveal it. So I guess that's coming up. He's a 3/3/6. So he's kind of like Abomination. So it's nothing too crazy. Then we got possessed. Treat attached ally as a control minion. With a blank text box. Attached minion scheme is equal to thwart. Okay. Attached to the ally with the lowest thwart without possessed attached. If you cannot, discard gain surge. Okay. Oh, it's similar to what we've seen with Enchantress. Nothing too crazy. So yeah, that's it. Storm, like, she's gonna be interesting. Like, I'm excited to see what the community does with her. I think she's gonna be fine. I don't think that she's gonna be like a top tier in terms of power, but I can see where she will be popular, especially in multiplayer games. And if you are a a fan of the leadership aspect, I think that's a no brainer. In terms of her, uh, probably strongest aspect, but um, yeah, she's fine. Like I'm excited that she's in the game. She's coming with a pretty good deck of cards. I think that her leadership cards are phenomenal. I think that she's fine. I think that she, because there's, at least from what we've seen so far, there's not a lot of combo with um, her dealing a lot of damage or removing a lot of threat. But once again, I think that this is why the allies are so important, because I think that she's going to depend a lot on her allies, similarly to Cyclops. But I think Cyclops tactics work similar to her weather cards, but once again, she can only pick and choose which weather support she have out, compared to Cyclops, where he can just add attachments to people, and they get those. So he can have a little bit more out in play compared to this. But I think that she'll be cool. I think some people are gonna find some crazy combos with her to be able to get off a lot of those special abilities, because I think that that's where she shines with the special ability of her weather support. Her leadership cards are extremely good, though, man. I think that regardless of what her kit is, like, these cards alone are worth it to me. I think these are amazing leadership cards. Forge, of course, this is excites me seeing XForce, which means that we might see some XForce allies coming out soon. But it's cool to see Storm. I'm glad she's in the game. I think that with what they've announced so far with the heroes that's coming out, I think we have another two in the cut. So I think we have Beast, Nightcrawler, Rogue, and Gambit. I think are the four that's pretty likely, that's extremely likely that we'll see by the end of the year, or at least announced over the next month or so. And that'll leave us with what, protection and justice. So my guess would be probably Rogue and Gambit, probably Rogue, protection, Gambit, justice would be my guess. But it could be Beast and Nightcrawler. But yeah, I think that this is a cool one. She's coming with some amazing cards that helps out all the X Men. This is, yeah, a lot of these cards are probably going to be some main staples in a lot of people's decks when using X Men. But yeah, let me know what y'all think of her. I think that she'll be fine. Um, I think that she gets stronger the more players you have in the game. I think she scales well in that aspect. She seems like a decent support character that, if you like buffing or debuffing, um, I guess buffing allies in your hero, or your friends' allies, or their hero, or just debuffing a villain, she'll be somebody that a lot of people can gravitate towards. I think her weather deck is something that's fairly unique. The idea of it is something that we've seen before, but it's used in a different way. It's almost this meshing of Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Spectrum on how her stuff works. But yeah, I think that she's going to be interesting. I definitely am looking forward to her. Like, in terms of excitement for her, she's probably at the bottom right now for me, as you can probably tell with my excitement level right now doing this video. But I think she'll be fine. Like, I'm more excited for the leadership cards that she have coming out, and maybe she'll be more broken than I think, because of course they haven't shown all the cards that'll be coming with her. So she may have some other cards that's probably dealing more damage, um, or doing better threat removal, that may just propel her up to be a stronger hero. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Hit that like button if this is your first time seeing me. Thank you for coming to the channel. I would love if you subscribe to me, and hope y'all have a wonderful day.